Today I'm going to go over lesson 10, which is all about adding two-digit numbers. This is on page 80 in your workbook. So today I'm going to talk about a couple different strategies that you can choose from when you're adding numbers that have two digits in them together. So first I'm going to go over something. So first, the first problem I want to go over with you is 26 plus 17. So we need to figure out the sum of this answer. So 26 plus 17. So I made a chart that I'm going to use to help set it up. You can see that this chart has tens and ones. So I'm going to write those numbers underneath the correct place value. So first let's start with 26. There's two groups of 10 and 6 ones. So two groups of 10 and 6 ones. So 26 plus 17. There's a 1 in the tens place value and a 7 in the ones place value. So I'm going to write the 1 in the tens place value and the 7 in the ones place value. So this is what I have on mine. So first, when we add, we always want to start by adding the ones place value. So just this column right here. So 6 plus 7, we're going to use some counters to help us. So down here, I counted out 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on this side, I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's count them all together to figure out how much they equal, both all added up together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you can hear that together it makes 13, which is a two-digit number. But remember, when you're working with place value, you can't put two digits in one place value. Only one can be there. So let's look back down at what we have. So we had 13. Could I trade these 13 tiny pieces for a group of 10? Yeah, I could. I could count out 10 of these small ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So these 10 right here, I'm going to trade them for one group of 10, one stick of 10. So now right here is what we're looking at. We have 10, 11, 12, 13. We still have the same amount. So going back to our chart, we have tens and ones. So 6 plus 7 is 13. So back at our picture, how many ones do we have now? We have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put that 3 underneath the ones column. So 6 plus 7 is 13. So put the 3 down here. And now we have to carry that group of 10. We can't just forget about it. We have to carry that group of 10 up here. So one group of 10 plus 2 groups of 10 plus another group of 10. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. So the total answer for this one would be 43. 26 plus 17 equals 43. Remember, 6 plus 7 equals 13. 1, 3. And then you have to add, go over, and add the tens place value. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus another one is 4. So your answer for this one would be 43. Let's try another one. What if I'm doing the problem 15 plus 41? And I need to solve this. So again, I'm going to use our chart. So 15 has one group of 10 and 5 ones. So one group of 10 and 5 ones. So 15 plus 41. 41 has 4 groups of 10 and 1 1. So 4 groups of 10 and 1 1. So 15 plus 41. Now I need to solve it. So remember, do we start with the tens place value or the ones place value? That's right, we start with the ones place value. So we're going to start by adding the 5 and the 1. So 5 plus 1 equals 6. So if you notice, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 is less than 10, so we don't need to worry about regrouping and carrying anything over. We can just move on to the next column underneath the tens place value. So 1 plus 4 equals 5. So 15 plus 41 equals 56. Let's try one more before we do our examples. What if I have the problem 18 plus 23? So 18 plus 23. I'm going to write that in our columns. So remember, 18, the 1 is in the tens place value and the 8 is in the ones place value. So 1 in the tens place value, 8 in the ones place value. So plus 23. So the 2 is in the tens place value. And then the 3 is in the ones place value. So now, remember, we start by adding the ones place value together. So we're only looking at this column right here, the 8 and the 3. So 8 plus 3, is that going to be 10 or more, or is that going to be less than 10? Remember, if it's 10 or more, we have to worry about carrying over. So let's see. We can use our counters to help us. So I'm going to count out 8 single pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 from 18, and then the 3 from 23. So another 1, 2, 3. So let's add these all together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11. 8 plus 3 equals 11. And 11 is 10 or more. It's greater than 10. So we can trade in all these ones, not all of them, but some of these ones for a group of 10. So if we have 11, how many groups of 10 can we trade in? We can trade in 10 of these ones for one group of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to take all these, this is equal to 10, and trade it in for one stick of 10. So now we have 1, 1, and one group of 10. So now when we're using our chart, we know 8 plus 3 equals 11. Remember, we have one little piece of 1 left over, so this is going to go underneath the ones. But remember, we can't forget about that group of 10. Don't forget about this one right here. So we need to carry it over to the tens place value. We're going to add it. So now we have 1 plus 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 1 is 2, plus another 2 is 4. So I'm going to put the 4 on the bottom. So our answer for 18 plus 23 is 41. Alright, so sometimes you might have to carry, but if these two numbers are less than 10, you won't have to. Alright, so now we're going to do example 1 in your book on page 80. So if you look in your book, it gives you this problem. It says 25 plus 38 equals, and this is the sum. This is the sum that we need to figure out. So I'm going to teach you a new strategy that you can do to try to solve this 2-digit addition problem. So first, we're going to write each of these numbers as a set of 10 and 1s. So looking at the number 25, how many groups of 10 do you have? You have 2 groups of 10. There's a 2 in the tens place value. So you're going to write 2 10s plus, and then how many 1s? 5. There's a 5 in the ones place value. So 2 10s plus 5 1s. So that's for 25. Now let's look at the number 38. So 38, what number is in the tens place value? The 3, that's right. So there's 3 groups of 10. So 3 10s plus how many 1s? 8. That's right, because there's an 8 in the ones place value. So 3 tens plus 8 ones is equal to 38. So now we're going to just look at the tens. So these are ones, so we're not going to worry about those yet. We're going to save those for later. So first, 2 tens plus 3 tens equals what? So 2 plus 3 equals 5. So 2 tens plus 3 tens equals 5 tens. So 5 groups of 10. Then go to the ones. So now we've already taken care of these. Go to this part. So 5 ones plus 8 ones, how much does that equal? So this is a little trickier. So 5 plus 8 equals 13 ones. So 5 ones plus 8 ones equals 13 ones. Now remember, if we're looking at the 13, is there something that we could do to regroup anything? There is, you're right. Look, there's 2 digits in this number. So it means that there's one group of 10 and 3 ones. So we could trade this in. 13 can be broken down into 1 10 plus 3 ones. So remember, go back. We had 2 tens plus 3 tens equals 5 tens. Now we have another 10 we can add. So 5 tens plus 1 10 equals 6 tens. So now we've taken care of all the tens. So now we have 3 ones. So just 3 ones. So 6 tens equals 60. And 3 ones equals 3. So 60 plus 3 equals 63. So your answer for the first one is 63. Also, in the book, it kind of shows it a different way. It took the 5 tens equals 50 plus this other group of 10 equals 60, and then it added on the 3 ones. So that's one way, a different strategy that you can use by separating it into the tens and the ones. So now we're going to go on to example 2. So for example 2, it says 75 plus 16 equals, and this is what we needed to figure out. So 75 plus 16 equals what? We need to figure out what the sum is. Remember, each number has 2 digits in it. So 1, 2, 1, 2. They're both 2-digit numbers, and we're adding them together. So this is a different strategy. It's similar to what we just did. So let's follow along with the book. So for step 1, it says write each addend. Remember, this is an addend and this is an addend. So write each addend as a group of tens and ones. So 75 equals, how many groups of 10 does it have? 7, that's right. There's 7 in the tens place value. That value of 7 tens equals 70. You count by tens, and I hold up 7 fingers. Let's see what we get. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So I said 70. 7 groups of 10 equals 70. So 70 plus what would equal 75? 5, that's right. There's 5 ones. So 70 plus 5 equals 75. Now let's look at this addend. So this is 16. So 16, we're going to break it down into groups of 10 and ones and find that value. So 16, there's a 1 in the tens place value. So one group of 10, and you count by tens, this equals 10. So 10, now how much is in the ones place value? 6, that's right. So 10 plus 6 equals 16. So 70 plus 5 equals 75, and 10 plus 6 equals 16. So now you're going to add the multiples of 10 together. This makes it easier. That way you don't have to think as hard about it. So I can see that 70 is a multiple of 10, and 10 is a multiple of 10. Remember, multiples of 10 are just if you're counting by 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And it keeps going. So I see 70 and 10 are multiples of 10. So 70 plus 10 equals 80. So 70 plus 10 equals 80. Now we're going to add the 5 and the 6. I'm going to add the 5 first because I like counting by 5s and adding on by 5s. So 80 plus 5 equals 85. 80 plus 5 equals 85. But we still have to add the 6. You could cross these numbers out as you're adding if that helps you. So now we still need to add the 6. So 85 plus 6 equals, I can use my fingers, or I know that 85 plus 5 would be 90. But I'm trying to add 6. 6 is one more. So 85 plus 5 would be 90, but plus that extra one would equal 91. Or you can just count on using your fingers. So 85, and I'm going to add 6 more. So 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. So I added 6, and the last number I said is our total. So our sum for 75 plus 16 equals 91. So 75 plus 16 equals 91. That's our answer for example 2. So at the bottom in that box, you write the number 91. Now we're going to move on to example 3 on the next page. So for example 3, the problem is 37, and now it sets it up vertically, so up and down. So instead of writing it next to it, I'm going to write it underneath it. I'm kind of going to try to set it up so it's like when we use this chart, but I'm doing it without the chart this time. So it's 37 plus 28, so there's a 2 in the tens place value, so it'll go under the 3. There's an 8 in the ones place value, so that'll go under the 7. So 37 plus 28. Now remember, we want to start with the ones place value. But first, we're actually going to break this number down a little differently, like we did when I first showed you before we did any of the examples. So looking at the ones place value, 7 plus 8 equals what? 7 plus 8. You can count on in your head. If you have little drawings, you can do drawings on the side. So 7 plus 8, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I used fingers to count on. I added 8 more. The last number I said was 15. So 7 plus 8 is 15. So 15. I'm going to write what I did. So 7 ones plus 8 ones equals 15 ones. But remember, I can't write 15 down here. There can only be one number in each place value, so this won't work. So now, think of that number 15. How many groups of 10 and how many ones are in that number? So, on your picture, it shows 15 small pieces. Those are ones, so 15 ones. And then you can see that it took 10 of those and it traded it in for one of these sticks. So it traded 15 of those in for a stick, and then 5 little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it traded it in. So now the 1 needs to be carried over to the tens place value, because one group of 10 is a 10 place value. So we're going to add that 1. So now it's 1 plus 3 plus 2. So 1 plus 3 equals 4, and 4 plus 2 equals 6. So remember, 7 plus 8 is 15. I carry those 5 ones, and I drop that 5 ones, and then I carry the one group of 10. So 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So your answer for this one is 65. So at the bottom, right in that box, this will be in a box. You write the answer 65. So now it's your turn to try. Turn to page 83 where it says try at the top and try out those problems, and then go on to 84 and 85.